from Nottingham for more on all of this is Antoni Kapcia, a professor of Latin American history, and he joins us live now. Antoni, thank you very much for your time. How likely do you think it is then that a deal will lead to a lasting peace here?
Oh, that's one of the big questions. There will be a deal almost certainly, if only because both sides want it, and clearly the United States wants it. And I'm sure the Cuban government is pressing the FARC to settle as well. Having said that, though, there is so much history behind them. There is so much of a enmity, mutual mistrust, that it's going to take a long time, even after a deal, for any kind of precise roadmap and precise details of the process of demobilization to take place, that I think there's a lot of mileage yet to go before we actually get there. It's on the way, it's coming, but don't hold your breath.
Is there support amongst Colombians for a deal here, or is there a feeling that perhaps in some way it's giving in to terror? What's the overwhelming feeling amongst the population?
I think Colombia is still very much divided on this. I would suspect that the vast majority probably want an end to it, not least because of its disruptive impact and because of the effect on the economy, let alone the loss of lives and the destruction of the countryside. Having said that, there is a very fierce opposition to any idea of a deal, as indeed there is in almost every example of negotiation with guerrillas, with an opposition, with terrorist movements. There's always opposition, not least from the army and from the paramilitary organizations very closely associated with the army and the police.
This has been rumbling on for decades, as Sandra mentioned. How are we at this point right now? Has one side softened their stance, or is it a bit of give and take by both sides?
I think it's a bit of give and take by both sides. FARC have probably moved further than anybody on the other side. But I think that the unknown quantity now, although there does seem to be evidence of it, is how much pressure the United States has put on the Colombian government and therefore the Colombian army as well to make a deal. The United States presidents in the past have been cautious, not least because of the Cuban involvement in the peace process. They've been highly suspicious of it. But I think that's one of the areas in which the United States talks have really made a difference. They are now speaking the same language on this, and the United States pressure on the government has made a difference. And I think also that's the kind of thing that the FARC are looking for, is United States guarantees that if there is a deal and if there is a process of demobilization, then the same thing that happened the last time there was a ceasefire will not recur, namely a very rapid massacre of some of the ex-guerrillas.
So if we are close to a deal, then what do you think it will look like?
I think it will look not unlike some of those deals that famously in the past in Northern Ireland, in Spain, when and indeed in Sri Lanka, when guerrillas come in from the cold. There will be a long process, there will be little outbreaks here and there. It will almost certainly be zonal, therefore the zones that the FARC currently occupy are likely to remain theirs, at least for some time. The crucial issue is how much and how effective, how much the United Nations can do and how effective the monitors and the peacekeepers are. And again, the United States will almost certainly have a role in protecting them one way or another. I don't mean directly, I mean indirectly through their influence in Colombia.
Okay, Antoni, thank you very much for your insight. Antoni Kapcia there in Nottingham.